Hi and welcome back to this Microsoft Teams crash course. Today we are going to be taking a look at the calendar app inside Microsoft Teams. If you find this video tutorial useful, do go ahead and click that like button and consider subscribing to That Office Guys YouTube channel. And with that said, let's jump on over to Microsoft Teams and take a look at how to use the Microsoft Teams calendar. Okay, so here I am just inside the Microsoft Teams application, and what we're going to do is head over to the app bar on the far left hand side. Down here we'll see that we've spoken about already the activity, the chats, and the Teams, and now we're going to take a look at the calendar app. So if we give that a click, this will open up your Microsoft Teams calendar, but also pulls in your Microsoft Outlook calendar as well. So you get the best of both calendars all in one place. It's a bit of a hybrid calendar. Okay, so the first things that you'll notice is you have a couple of different options here on the top left hand side. So you obviously have today, so you can go directly to today, which is over here on the 14th. You have these two arrows to go back a week or forward a week, and also we have the ability to have a drop down and choose exactly what it is that we're looking for. Now on the far right hand side, there's a couple of additional options. There's a meet now, there's a new meeting, and then there's a drop down for week. This lets you then change from a week to a working week or to a specific day. Now I have this set to week, but a lot of you may see this as a working week. But this is the section that allows you to just filter and toggle between those two things. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about really is something that's a little less well known, but a very important feature nonetheless, and that is that your Microsoft Outlook calendar can book Microsoft Teams video meetings. Okay, with that being said, you cannot book a Microsoft Outlook appointment from Microsoft Teams. So the capability of the two calendars, it basically pulls information from Outlook, but doesn't necessarily push a lot of information back to Outlook. So there are two-way feeds going for some things, specifically video meetings, but there won't be any functionality inside Microsoft Teams to push appointments into your Outlook calendar. However, Outlook will be pulled into Microsoft Teams. Okay, so the calendar in Microsoft Teams is not just a regular Outlook calendar. The Teams calendar pulls in all the appointment information and appointment data from Outlook and then layers in all of your team meetings. Both Outlook and Teams calendars are integrated together, meaning that team meetings appear in Outlook and Outlook appointments appear in Teams. And obviously, as I said before, you can book your video meetings directly inside Microsoft Outlook. Okay, and there are a few differences, different ways to create meetings inside Microsoft Teams, and we'll try to cover those off as we progress through this video tutorial as well. Okay, so with your calendar open, it'll automatically kind of flow you through the day. So currently it's got this little slot here highlighted as that is indicating the time of day that we're currently on. And as you scroll down, we obviously have all of the various different appointments for every single day. So I have these video meetings scheduled every single day at 8 p.m. and they have this appointment from Outlook here that happened at 1:30 until 2:30 or 1 until 2. Okay, now what we can do is we can click in any of these slots and create a video meeting. Okay, what we can't do is click into any of these slots and create an Outlook appointment. So you do make sure you use the right calendar depending on what you're trying to achieve. So for this example, if I click into this next available slot just here, you only have to click it once. There's no need for double clicking in the Microsoft Teams calendar, but this will open up the new meeting creation dialog box, if you will. Here you get to add a title, so you can call this a test. For example, we can add people in. So if I wanted to, I think I added myself as a, no, I haven't. So if you wanted to, we could invite Chris. Okay, we can invite Chris to the meeting. I won't do that for now, but you can invite lots of different people here. You also have the date and the time of the meeting and how long you want it to run for, if you want it to be an all-day meeting, etc. You also have the ability to make this a repeat video meeting. So if you wanted to repeat it every week, day, or every daily, or weekly, monthly, yearly, or a custom reoccurrence, you can do that there. This where we can add a channel. Here you can invite an entire channel into that meeting all in one go. So there's no need to type out lots of people's names at the top here. You can do an entire, invite an entire channel into a meeting with one click effectively here. Okay, and likewise, if you wanted multiple teams to join, you could just go ahead and add in whatever team you needed to basically add them all into this meeting. Okay, so a fantastic way to basically make it really quick and easy to add people into your meeting. Up here at this attendees is where you would add external users if you wanted to. So if you had any external users or guests you wanted to invite into your Teams meeting, that's where you would do it. You have to have the ability to add a location. So here we can add in a specific location that the meeting is going to take place, but this will most likely always be virtual unless otherwise stated. Then also you can have your agenda and your notes, etc. just at the bottom here. And once you're happy with all of that, you go ahead and click send, and that will send out all of the meeting invites to everybody as needed. So I'm just going to send that, and then here you will see that the test has been created. And if we click back into that test, we can see a little bit of the detail, and we can go ahead and edit and edit it as needed. Okay, and we can also cancel it. Now, talking about Microsoft Outlook, we can hop over to our Outlook calendar, and we can see for this week just past here, this here is the video meeting appointment, right? This was the test, and this is the one we just created. So if I open this up, we can see that this is a test meeting. It's a Teams meeting ultimately, and etc. Right? So we can see that the two-way communication is happening between Outlook calendar and Microsoft Teams. And likewise, if we wanted to, if we click on an empty slot here, we can see that there's this new thing called Teams meeting just at the top. We give that a click, and we can actually set up a Teams meeting directly here from our Outlook calendar. So I'm just going to call this test 2, and I'll basically leave that as it is, and click send. This will then obviously send this out, and what we'll do is hop back to our Microsoft Teams calendar here and give it a moment, and it'll update. Sometimes I find it easier to actually just flip between two apps, and now you can see that we also have this Microsoft Teams meeting also basically created inside Outlook, and it is inside your Microsoft Teams calendar. And again, we can click this, we can have the button to join the meeting, we can edit the meeting, and various different things directly from there. Okay, so that's your first way of kind of creating meetings, just by clicking on time slots. Now at the very top right hand side here, we have the ability to create a new scheduled meeting, and this opens the same dialog box as it did before. So two different ways there to go about creating a meeting. So we have the ability to click on a time slot, add a new meeting here, or use our Outlook calendar to create a Teams meeting. So there's 3 different ways effectively to add meetings into your Microsoft Teams calendar. Okay, now when you click inside a meeting here, and we want to edit this one for example, there is something called meeting options, and this options will open up inside of your basically your web browser, where you can then adjust various different permission levels for your meetings. So do bear that in mind. You can also make adjustments to these meeting options whilst the meeting is happening. You also have the scheduling assistant in this particular meeting as well, chats and files that are shared during the meeting. So lots of additional functionality that you get from there. In a similar way, you obviously have the scheduling assistant for this particular meeting. And if anyone else were to join this meeting, then they would also have the ability to see the chats and the files as well. Okay, but ultimately using the Microsoft Teams calendar is actually very, very simple. It doesn't require too much. It's more about the understanding that each I guess, you call it like, there's lots of different ways of creating meetings, and it's really good and very important that we understand that Microsoft Outlook is kind of semi-integrated into how to create these meetings. So if you're really comfortable using Outlook as a place to create your meetings, instead of just using an appointment, make sure that you create Teams meetings from Outlook, and they will appear in your Teams calendar here as well. And when it's a Teams meeting, you get that prompt straight away here to join the meeting just by clicking on it. And that works also inside your Outlook. So if I go over to my Outlook and click onto this meeting here, I have the ability to just click here, open it up, and then I can join the meeting directly. And as the time actually approaches this, so if I were to just move that one out of the way and bring this one up to here, for example, and then just, when this pop-up happens, we have this ability to join online, like we can join it directly from Outlook. But also, this meeting, now if I were to open it up, we have the ability to join the meeting directly from here or here. So lots of functionality that you get added in Microsoft Outlook, right? Not just Teams itself, but also with Teams, you can join directly from your calendar as well. So lots of really good functionality to kind of get your heads around on the Microsoft Teams calendar. And guys, hopefully you found this useful and informative. It really is just about understanding when to use Outlook and when to use Teams. And if you're more comfortable using Outlook, then you still can get all of the functionality, well, almost all of the functionality, by creating a Microsoft Teams meeting from Outlook rather than using Teams directly. But for me personally, I tend to use both. I make sure that I use Outlook and I use Microsoft Teams depending on what I'm trying to get from the meeting. So if I'm using a standard Meet Now option, I will just use that and then invite people in manually. If I want to create a meeting for very specific people, I'll probably do that inside Microsoft Outlook and invite those very specific people into the meeting that way. But guys, as always, if you did find this useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.